What's up, everybody, and welcome into the RNGIDP channel. This is Craig, welcoming you into another Game Day 17 broadcast. Tonight it'll be between the Chicago Cub Chew and the St. Louis Carbink, a rivalry game here in the Game Day 17. This one should be a fun one. We've got a good pitching matchup for you as well. John Neese for the Chicago Cub Chew against Justin Verlander for the St. Louis Carbink. So we are here in Game Day 17. Al Red Sox's fan here is here as well. He says, "Hello, play ball." That's about what we're about to do. First, let's take a look at Justin Verlander. He is the pitcher for St. Louis today. I'm excited to play St. Louis again. I feel like every 2 weeks I get to play St. Louis. Well, I feel like when I do play St. Louis every 2 weeks, it's not enough. I want to play more with St. Louis. This team is fun to use, and in the randomization, they definitely are one of the favorite teams that I get to use. Justin Verlander will be the starter for them today. He is 2-1 on the season. He's pitched in 22 2/3 innings. He's given up 17 hits, 5 earned runs, struck out 21, and only walked 5. That's a 1.99 ERA for Justin Verlander. And he will face a Chicago Cub Chew lineup that's a little different today. No Yasiel Puig still, but they do get Josh Harrison back in the lineup, so that'll help him. And Josh Harrison will bat leadoff. He's hitting .263 with 3 homers and 3 doubles. Austin Jackson is taking the place of Puig. If you remember the last game, Austin Jackson had a nice throw from the outfield to gun a runner at third, or was it at home? I can't remember. He made a nice outfield assist, I know that. And in his plate appearances, he's 6 for 13. So proving his worth with the injury to Puig. Joe Mauer is the third man in the order. He's playing first base. Joe Mauer is hitting .236 with 3 homers. Kyle Seager is the shortstop. They're going with a heavy left-handed lineup here against Verlander. This is another lefty in the cleanup spot, the shortstop. Kyle Seager, he's hitting .277 with 4 homers. That leads the team. Brian McCann is the catcher, another lefty. He is in the 5 spot, and he's hitting .160 right now. Needs to get that number up. Nolan Reimold moves up to the 6th spot in the order. He's the left fielder. Reimold is hitting 10 for 36 with a pair of homers, 3 RBI. Jake Lamb is back in the lineup. Lamb had been out for a couple of games, and he's back in. This Lamb is 8 for 34 in his plate appearances. And Leonis Martin, the lefty center fielder, is in the 8th spot today. Martin has 7 stolen bases, but only a .266 average. So if he can get on base, he's dangerous. And the pitcher, John Neese, is a left-handed, weak, power-hitting batter using the number 2 card. So that is how Chicago lines up. We are ready to play some ball. Justin Verlander against the against the Chicago Cub Chew. Chicago comes into this game after having dropped 2 in a row now. They lost a close one in San Francisco, their last game against San Francisco Giratina, 3-2. Here's the pitch. It's a 6-5. That's a shortstop X chance right off the bat here. And this is an 18 to the shortstop, Starlin Castro. Castro for St. Louis is a 3-range shortstop. A 3-18 is a ground ball A. So Starlin Castro makes a nice ranging play. His hamstrings aren't even warmed up yet, but he has to run and make a grab, and he'll make the strong throw, and there's 1 out as Josh Harrison is out at first. So just getting started here. Now Austin Jackson is the batter. Jackson making his second straight start for Puig. And it's a 2-7. And this one is going to be a chopper to Castro as well. And same result as Austin Jackson grounds out to shortstop. So we've got Joe Mauer on the plate. He's the first baseman today. It's a 5-4. That's a ballpark single chance, which is a 1-9. We rolled a 17, so that is going to be a liner over to the second baseman, who is Danny Espinosa today. And there's 1, 2, 3. Verlander sets him down in the first, we go to the bottom and we will introduce you to John Neese of the Chicago Cub Crew and the lineup he'll face for St. Louis. So John Neese for Chicago has pitched in 21 innings. He's got a 1-1 record. He's given up 23 hits, 9 earned runs, 17 strikeouts, and 4 walks. That's a 3.86 ERA with a 1.29 whip. And this is the lineup that'll face today for St. Louis. St. Louis can hit the ball. They're in third in the KL right now with a 10-5 record. They've scored 59 runs, but they've given up 55. So a +4 run differential, which isn't all that great given that they're in third place. They sit 2 games back of Milwaukee coming into this game day. Kevin Pillar will be the leadoff man. He's hitting .234 right now. Will Myers will be the left fielder. Myers is hitting .304, moves into that 2 spot. He's got 5 home runs, does Will Myers, which leads the team. Also 12 RBI, which leads. Ryan Howard, his average was over 400 a couple games ago, but right now it's at 367. He's somewhat in the slump, although he does have 8 doubles and 4 homers. J.D. Martinez is the cleanup man. He's the right fielder. Martinez is hitting .302 with 3 homers. Hammer and Hank Conger is in the 5 spot, his usual place. Hank Conger, that +4 arm, but at the dish, he's hitting .345 with 4 homers and 8 driven in. Starlin Castro is the shortstop, as we saw. He made 2 plays in the field already. Castro hitting .237 with a couple of extra base hits. Danny Espinosa is the second baseman, the switch hitter. He's in the 7th spot in the order. He's hitting .239 right now. And Casey McGee is the third baseman. He's 4 for 13 in his at-bats. And Justin Verlander, he'll hit for himself. He's a weak-hitting right-handed batter using the number 1 card. And I think we're ready to go here. This one should be a good one. Ken Castro is here. Jerry Ball is here. Al Red Sox fan is here. And I'm happy that you're here watching it along with these guys and looking forward to another wonderful broadcast. John Neese is ready to go, the left-hander. He gets a new baseball, rubs it up, and he will pitch to Kevin Pillar. And this first pitch is going to be hit hard. Kevin Pillar, he turns this one around quickly. A 1-10, and it's a homer. That's an 11, so it drops out into left center field. And Pillar is going to be at second with a stand-up double right out of the box against John Neese. Now Will Myers, nobody out. Leadoff runners at second. Got 3 chances to bring him in here. Will Myers, Ryan Howard, and J.D. Martinez will look to do so. Myers gets his first shot. It's a 5-8. This is a ground ball second base X. This is going to be a tough chance. Josh Harrison is good out there in the field, but we rolled a 1. That's normally a base hit unless you're a 1 range. He is a 2 range. No, he's a 3 range. 3-1 is going to be a single 2-star. So Will Myers gets one under the glove of the second baseman Harrison, and Kevin Pillar will come around to score. So in 2 batters, John Neese is already down 1-0 as St. Louis jumps on him early and takes the lead. St. Louis, this is what they do. They score runs. And Will Myers punches a single through, and that's an RBI single. 1-0 now. St. Louis getting an early lead on John Neese and the Chicago Cub Crew. Who are you rooting for? This is a 5-7. That's a fly ball center field out to Jonas Martin, and Ryan Howard is going to be retired. That'll be the first out of the ball game. Lefty on lefty there. John Neese gets his fellow southpaw to fly out. Now it'll be J.D. Martinez. J.D. Martinez with the runner at first. That's Will Myers. It's a 5-5, a 5-5. There it is again, that 5-5. J.D. Martinez, will he have a better chance here? A 1-10, and it's a homer. And it's a 17, so that's a double. We'll have to see if Will Myers is going to get the go-ahead to score. It's a double for J.D. Martinez. They were holding Will Myers. So, let's see. He is a 1-14 runner. That'll bring him to a 1-13. The outfielder's arm, it was to center field. That's Martin. He's a -4 arm. So it'd be a 1-10 chance that, well, hold on, 14, they were holding him, so it's a 13. So it'd be a 1-9 chance. So they're not going to take it. Will Myers pulls up at third. And so runners will be at second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. John Neese not fooling anybody. Al Red Sox fan says St. Louis jumps out on top. Jerry Ball says go St. Louis. We're holding. Will Myers isn't running. He pulled up. He took about 3 or 4 steps and decided against it. He heeded the stop sign. And now it'll be Hammer and Hank Conger. Can he bring home 2 runs? The infield is going to come in. John Neese gets a visit from the catcher already. Brian McCann goes and asks him, what's going on here? So the catcher is back behind the plate. We're ready to go, and Hank Conger with the infield in. This will be a 4-3. A 4-3 is a fly ball right field X. The right fielder is Austin Jackson. This might be deep enough to bring a run home at least. Austin Jackson is a 3-range right fielder. A 3-5. That is, let me double check. That's going to be a single 2-star. So Austin Jackson can't reach it. And guess what? Hammer and Hank Conger is going to drive home 2 runs. J.D. Martinez got a good read off the bat, and he was right on Will Myers' tail, right at home plate. And Hank Conger with an RBI single, 2 runs will score. And St. Louis is up quickly, 3-0 on a 2 RBI single from Hank Conger. Where did this offense come from? St. Louis just with 1 out now still have driven in 3 runs. Hank Conger doing his thing. St. Louis in their last game only scored 2 runs in a victory over Colorado, and with 1 out here in the bottom of the first have already scored more than that entire game against a terrible Colorado team. Jerry Ball says, go Hank. Well, we got runner at first again, and it'll be Starlin Castro. John Neese, how long will his leash be? Well, that's not going to help. That's going to be a walk to Castro. And that'll push Conger to second. The Conger line keeps on moving. Al says, Al Red Sox fan, if your name is Hank and play baseball, you better not be a Punch and Judy hitter. That reminds me of that kid. Did you guys see during the Little League World Series this year? Now, I don't watch a whole lot of Little League World Series, but I saw on Twitter the little video that was going around of I can't remember the kid's name, but he's my name is, we'll say Hank. My name is Hank, and I hit big taters or something like that. It was crazy. That's what Hank Conger reminds me of. I'll have to retweet that video from my Twitter account. Oh, man, that's funny. All right, Danny Espinosa, 1 out. Runners at first and second. John Neese will continue here. And Espinosa lines up from the right-hand side. This is a ground ball, first base, X. First baseman is Joe Mauer. Can the veteran Mauer calm this thing down and turn a double play? We'll see. He's a 3-range first baseman. A 3.9 is going to his E rating. Oh, no, that's an E11. I mean, we rolled an 11. He's an E6. 11 is a GBA, so Mauer, he picks one that was headed for the corner. He does a little spin, throws it over to Seager, and back to Mauer, and that'll be a 3-6-3 double play. And so Mauer saves the day and gets him out of the inning as Castro is erased at second and Espinosa erased back at first. That'll be it for the first inning. but not before St. Louis puts up a 3-spot. And guess who? Hank Conger doing his dance, doing his normal thing of driving in runs and coming up big. And Justin Verlander has been given a 3-0 lead as we move to the top of the second. That's never a good thing when Verlander has a lead. Ken Castro's got something brewing. He's playing a game with the Dead Ball All-Stars. After 8, it's a 2-0 ball game. Feller has K'd his last 6 and now 17, and he's got 17 strikeouts. That's crazy. Keep us updated, Ken. I think in this series, in this league, the RNL that I've got going, I think it was Greinke. I think I've had a 17 strikeout game in this, and that's the highest it's been. So Kyle Seager now, the pitch from Verlander, and Seager turns this one around. Will it get up and out of here? This one's hit to center, and that's a home run. Kyle Seager leads off the top of the second with a solo shot. So Seager gets one back, and this one's not over yet. Chicago gets a home run from Kyle Seager off of Justin Verlander here in the top of the second, and it's a 3-1 ball game. So Chicago's not going to go out without a fight. You wouldn't expect that with the rivalry game here. And it's a 2-6, a 2-6. This is from Brian McCann. It's hit hard, but the third baseman, that is Casey McGee, will make a diving catch. A nice stop. Probably didn't have to dive, but he made it look nice. And so that'll be 1 out. Nolan Reimold, the left fielder. It's a 3-6. A 3-6 is going to be a walk. So Verlander with a home run and now a walk. Not really treating this this lead very nicely. Reimold is on base. And for those that don't remember, let's take a look at the Hank Conger card. Just so you can remember, Hank Conger has a +4 arm. Yeah, he has to stay in there because of his bat. But that +4 arm makes the running game pretty fun. So Reimold is an E-stealer. And even though the running game is going to be fun, it's not that fun. Not an E-stealer. They're going to have to hold him, though. And Jake Lamb will see the pitch. It's a ground ball third base X. The third baseman is McGee. He's a 4-range third baseman. A 4-12 is going to his E rate. He's an E26. We rolled a 5, so this could be trouble. E26 and a 5. That's going to be an error on Casey McGee as he gets there and he throws it away. Reimold will have to stop at second. Thought about taking third, but the first baseman Howard gets to the ball quickly. And Lamb is aboard on an E5. We got 2 runners aboard now. Casey McGee with an error. And Justin Verlander in some trouble here. He's got 2 aboard, 1 out. And Leonis Martin will be the batter. And Martin sees the pitch. It's a 5-5. Martin, is he normal power? He is. A 1-10, and this will be up and out. It's hit out to right field. And that's a 2, so Leonis Martin goes opposite field against Justin Verlander. And the diminutive Martin has himself a 3-run opposite field homer that puts Chicago back on top. They've scored 4 here in the top of the second and take a 4-3 lead. Leonis Martin, a 3-run bomb. Reimold home from second. And Lamb from first. That'll be an unearned run against Lamb there, or that Lamb scored. Just talking out loud to myself here for scorekeeping purposes. With the pitcher up too, he served him a high fastball, and Martin just goes with the pitch and serves it out to right field. Crazy. I wasn't expecting that. How do you like those apples, Mr. Verlander? How do you sleep at night, Justin? Well, next to Mrs. Verlander, I'm sure it's pretty good. John Neese against Verlander. It's a 1-6, and that die doesn't want to come here. It's a 1-6, so he comes right back and strikes out the pitcher. That'll be the first strikeout for Verlander. He put a little extra mustard on that one. He was angry after giving up that home run. Hank's arm makes Johnny Damon's look like a cannon. Yeah, Johnny Damon, he didn't have quite an arm, did he? And Josh Harrison with his second at-bat. This will be a 2-6. He pops one up on the infield. The second baseman, Espinosa, is clearing everybody out, and he'll make the grab. So that'll do it for the top of the second. But not before Leonis Martin with the big fly puts Chicago back on top. They scored 4 runs, 2 home runs in that inning against Verlander, right after he got a lead. That's not Justin Verlander. What did they do with the real Justin Verlander? We've got here in the bottom of the second, Casey McGee, and then Verlander and Pilar. This will be McGee. It's a 1-9. And this is going to be hit hard, but the second baseman, Harrison, will take it on a hop. He scoops it and fires it over to first. There's one away. So, Justin Verlander's up. Ken Castro is having himself a game over there, it looks like. That's pretty cool. And Verlander will hit one to shortstop. This one's hit in an awkward spot. The shortstop, Kyle Seager, is going to have a difficult chance. He's a 4-range shortstop. A 410 is going to his E rating, which is a 48. A 48 isn't even on the chart, but a 8 will be an error as Seager gets to it, but makes an off-balance throw as Verlander's busting it down the line, and it's going to be an error. So Verlander's aboard on an E6, and that'll be an error on Kyle Seager. And now that it's over for Ken Castro, I'll mention what was happening. I'm one of those that's superstitious about it. Ken Castro with a no-no. He had a no-hitter going with, who was it? But Ken, who was it? That was Bob Feller. Bob Feller had a no-hitter going for Ken Castro, and he lost it on a triple from Wee Willie Keeler. Sorry, Ken. That's someday, and I hope it happens during this series, the RNL. I want a no-hitter to happen. I think that'd be cool. Oh, it's Bob Feller. Excuse me. All right, Kevin Pillar with the runner at first. That's Justin Verlander. Getting sidetracked watching Ken Castro in the chat here. And this will be a pop-up out to center field. So Pilar pops one out to his opposite number, Martin. And Martin is still gliding and floating because of his 3-run homer. He slides on over and makes the catch. So Will Myers now with 2 outs against John Neese. A 5-12. A 5-12 is a ballpark home run chance. A 1-6, and it'll be up and out of here. So this one is hit out to left field. Will Myers rips one. It's a 10, and that's going to die out at the track out to left field. So the left fielder, Nolan Reimold, will make the catch. And that'll retire the side. We are through 2. And Chicago takes a 4-3 lead into the third. 18 strikeouts for Feller. A 4-1 final. That's a tough one. Ken Castro said he's not going to sleep now. I'm sorry. So it'll be the top of the third here for us. We've got Verlander to face Jackson, Maurer, and Seager. A 4-3 ball game. Chicago's got things rolling. It's a 6-9, but Austin Jackson can't pull the bat off his shoulder as he gets a pitch on the outside part of the plate, and that'll be a strikeout. That's number 2 for Verlander on the day. 1 away here in the top of the third. Just getting things started from St. Louis in the 2015 RNL here on the RNGIDP channel. I'm Craig. Happy that you're here with me. It's a 2-7 for Joe Mauer against Justin Verlander. That one's hit right back to the pitcher. He'll have no problem making the snag and underhanding it to first. That's a 1-3 put out. And there's 2 away now. Kyle Seager, he led off the second inning with a homer, and here he is back in the third. It's a 3-9. That one is hit hard, but it'll be a little dribbler. Not a dribbler. It'll be hit hard to the shortstop, Castro. Castro charges it, and he'll make the play. A throw to first. And that's a 1-2-3 inning. Justin Verlander's back on track. Must have gotten a nice pep talk out in the dugout. After a rough inning in the second, he goes 1-2-3 in the third. And now John Neese is back out to try and match him. He'll face the lefty Howard, J.D. Martinez, and then Hammer and Hank Conger again. I think Ken Castro just found out that Justin Verlander's wife is Kate Upton. Did you just find that out, Ken? I'm sorry if I broke the news to you. Ryan Howard, that's it. That was a 3. You saw that, right? A 3-8. That's a strikeout. Ryan Howard takes a big hack, gets no baseball. And that'll be the first strikeout for John Neese on the day. And 1 out here in the bottom of the third. J.D. Martinez, now he's hit a double his first time. Martinez, it's a 2-9. A 2-9 is a strikeout, so Neese starting to feel it. There's 2 strikeouts in a row. And now it's Hank Conger with nobody out here with 2 outs, nobody on in the bottom of the third. Conger lines up on the right-hand side of the plate. It's a 1-6. He takes a big hack, and that's going to be a strikeout. So John Neese matches Verlander, but he one-ups him as he strikes out the side here in the third. Things have calmed down now after a tumultuous first 2 innings. We have reached the fourth. It's a 4-3 ball game. Again. Well, I'm just happy you know who Kate Upton is. That's good. I don't fault you for not knowing that she is married to Justin Verlander. As long as she is, that's the important part. All right, Brian McCann, Nolan Reimold, and Jake Glam will be up against Verlander, or shall we call him Mr. Upton. It's a 1-5. A 1-5 is a strikeout. So anything that Neese can do, Verlander can do better, maybe. We'll see if he can strike out 2 more. He's got 1. It'll be Reimold now. Reimold, it's a 4-10. This is a fly ball up to center. The center fielder is Pilar. This is going to be a tough chance. I don't know if he's going to be able to get to it. He's a center fielder 1, though. A 110 is going to his E rating, which is an E2. Oh, no, we rolled snake eyes. Even an E2, that's going to be a rough one. Okay, well, he's got a shot. A 50-50 shot. A 1 to... actually, you know what? A 1-2, and it'll be a 3-base error. I don't know that I've ever seen a 3-base error on this X Chance. Let me double-check this here. So a center fielder, he's an E2. We rolled snake eyes. Okay, so a 1-2 on this purple one, and it'll be a 3-base error on Kevin Pilar. It's a 5, so that would be an amazing catch as he dives and makes the grab and then slides for about 5 feet on the grass. And Kevin Pilar comes down with the ball in his glove, raises it up as he bounces off the turf, and pulls it out of his glove and raises it up in the air to show the umpire he made the catch. And he gets a little tip of the cap from the pitcher, Justin Verlander. And so Jake Lamb, it's a 2-4. This will be a ballpark single chance. That's a 1-9. It is not, as that one is smashed over to the second baseman. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning. As Mr. Upton, he's rolling now. He's retired after that Leonys Martin home run. He's retired 7 in a row. We move to the bottom of the fourth. It's a 4-3 ball game. The live chat, I shouldn't have said Kate Upton. The live chat is going very hashtag late night strat. I don't know if I should repeat some of those things, but I'm enjoying them. I'm reading them, and I'm enjoying them. Thank you, Jerry Ball. The Cubs to Bears is here. He says, wow, a Kate Upton reference. This chat is going to be great. No, I appreciate it. Starlin Castro is due up. Danny Espinosa will follow, and Casey McGee against the lefty John Neese. It's a 1-3. Well, Castro gets a piece of this one, and it's popped up behind to the left of the plate on the third base side, and the catcher is gonna, he's gonna be called off. Jake Lamb is gonna make the grab. That's a foul out by Starlin Castro. And so Danny Espinosa, he ended the first inning on a double play. He's up for the second time. He's 0 for 1. It's a 4-6. That's got a chance at a single. And it's not. It's going to be hit, and the first baseman, Mauer, cuts it off before it goes out into the outfield. And he will make the throw to the pitcher, Neese, covering the bag. And that was a nice play by Mauer. And he'll make it there, and 2 outs now. So we've got Casey McGee. McGee with a 4-7. That one is hit to third base. Lamb will have this one. He throws it across the diamond, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for John Neese. So after a rough inning for each of the pitchers, they've settled down here, and we've reached the fifth. It's still 4-3 Chicago, taking a lead here in St. Louis. Verlander returning to the scene of the crime, where he'll face Leonys Martin. Martin hit a 3-run bomb his last time up. And it's a 4-7. Well, Verlander gets his revenge. He strikes him out this time looking. That's the 4th K for Mr. Upton. And there's one away. Ken says, I've lost control of this chat. Well, I don't know that I ever had control, but you mentioned a beautiful woman and late at night in a sports chat. That's what happens. You got John Neese at the plate now. It's a 3-10. That one is hit over to shortstop. The shortstop is Castro. He'll make the play, and there's 2 outs. And so Josh Harrison, he's 0 for 2. Both balls not have left the infield. And this is a 1-12. And he hits one at third, but the third baseman, McGee, snags it out of the air. And Verlander has himself another 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. And Chicago find themselves up 4-3. They only scored in 1 inning, but it was a big one. And now John Neese will face Verlander, Pilar, and Myers. This is a 1-6, and Verlander will strike out. That is the 4th strikeout for Neese. I don't remember him being a big strikeout guy. Let's see, how many strikeouts does he have on there? Only 113 strikeouts on his card. And 177 innings. He's got 4 through 5 innings here. Well, I should say 4 1/3. Kevin Pilar now. Pilar is 1 for 2. He's got a double. And here he will see the pitch. It's a fly ball left field X. The left fielder is Nolan Reimold. This one is going to be tough. Reimold is a 4-range left fielder. So he may have trouble getting to this one. A 4-5. That's going to be a single as it plops down right in front of Reimold. Didn't even make a dive. And Pilar will be on with 1 out here in the 5th. The Cubs to Bears. I wouldn't say this is a vegetarian chat room. I don't even like the word vegetarian. We got Will Myers now. He's 1 for 2. He had an RBI single his first at bat. He drove in Kevin Pilar, the second base hitter up to the game. I can't talk now all of a sudden. Too many Kate Upton references. Will Myers now sees the pitch, and he's going to have a base hit here. This is going to drive in the run. I think it's a double. Well, we'll see. Pilar is a good runner, so he may score. He'll get to third at least. He picks up his third base coach. Pilar is a 1-15 runner. He was being held, so it'd be a 1-14. The center fielder is Martin, which we saw before, has a -4 arm. So that's a 1-10 chance, and he's going to take it. He is running. He rounds third. It's a 1-10. It's a 7. And so Pilar ties it up on an RBI double from Will Myers, and Myers has his second ribby on the day. Driving in Kevin Pilar as he slides in under the tag. A nice throw from Martin, but just a tad late as the catcher McCann made a nice block, but slides in under it. And it's a tie ball game, 4-4 here in the bottom of the 5th. So Ryan Howard with the runner at second. Lefty on lefty here. It's a 5-10. That's a catcher X. So McCann, he got slid into. We'll see if it affects him here. He's a 2-range catcher. A 2-10 is going to his E rating. He's an E2. We rolled a 6. That is going to be a little dribbler out in front of the plate. McCann pops up easily. No damage done from the slide of Kevin Pilar, and he will look the runner back. Myers at second, and Howard will be erased at first. So 2 outs now. And J.D. Martinez now at the plate. So Martinez is 1 for 2. It's a 5-8. This one is a grounder to second base. Will Josh Harrison be able to get him out of the inning? A lot of X chances tonight. Second base 3. A 3-4. That's going to be a single, but it just barely sneaks through the infield. Myers had to see if it would get through, so he's only going to be able to advance to third. But Martinez keeps the inning going. He singles. And now there's runners at the corners for, you guessed it, Hank Conger. Hammer and Hank. He's 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs today. He had a single in the first. They're going to let Neese pitch to him. That might be a mistake. We'll see. It's a 5-3. That's a ballpark single chance. A 1-9, and this will drive in a run. It's a 4. So Hank Conger comes through again as he finds a hole in the infield and lines one through it. And Will Myers will trot home. It's a 2-out hit for Hank Conger. Martinez advances to second, and the runner, Will Myers, will score from third. Hank Conger doing it again. That's his 3rd RBI of the day. And now, I'm not sure if they can let John Neese continue with 2 outs here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. Neese has given up 4 hits this inning. He's given up the lead. It's a 5-4 lead now for St. Louis. And they're going to let him have one more batter. Castro's 0 for 1 with the walk. The 5 is rolled again. A 5-4, and he's going to walk Castro. So that loads him, and that'll pretty much do it for Nice as Martinez advances to third, Conger to second, and now Danny Espinosa will be up. And I think we're going to have to go get Nice. He pitched so well and then just kind of fell apart here in the 5th. And now we'll have to go to, we've got a couple of long relievers, and Drew Pomeranz, for all you Boston fans. We have Pomeranz and Jesse Chavez as our long relievers. And let's see, would we go to the lefty, or would we go with Chavez, the righty? I think we're going to go with Chavez. We'll save Pomeranz, the lefty, out of the bullpen just in case. So it'll be Jesse Chavez who comes in here and take over for John Nice here in the bottom of the 5th. Nice, 4 2/3. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hits. He struck out 4, hit a wall here the 3rd time through the order. Look at that. The 2nd time through the order, not 1 hit. He had 4 strikeouts the 2nd time through. The 1st and the 3rd really killed him. He walked 2 batters. Ken Castro is laughing so much his wife asked him if everything is okay. So Jesse Chavez comes out. He'll face Danny Espinosa. And we are here in the bottom of the 5th. I didn't write down Jesse Chavez's name, did I? All right, now we're ready. Espinosa 0 for 2 today. He's got the bases loaded, 2 outs. It's a 2-7, and Espinosa strikes out. Well, that was anticlimactic, Espinosa. Thanks for that. I guess it's good for Chavez as he comes in and does his job and gets Nice out of the inning. But not before St. Louis picks up 2 more, and that'll close the book on Nice. He gives up 5, and all of them earned. Hank Conger did the damage again. Drove in, had another RBI single, drove in his 3rd run of the ball game. And now Verlander's on the plus side again. He's on the Upton side. He'll face Jackson, Mauer, and Seager here in the top of the 6th. This is a 6-10 against Jackson, and that's a 3rd base X chance. The 3rd baseman is McGee, and he's a 3rd baseman 4. A 4-11 is going to his E rating, which is an E26. And we rolled an 8. And so that is right on the edge of his E rating, but he is able to make the snag. He makes a throw. It's in the dirt, but it's dug out by Ryan Howard. And Austin Jackson is out by half a step on the throw from Casey McGee. So Joe Mauer now with 1 out. Mauer's 0 for 2 against Verlander. It's a 3-4. That one is a little bouncer to short. That's Castro. He's up with it quickly. He makes a strong throw over to second, or over to first, not second. And there's 2 away. So Verlander given new life here. And it'll be Seager. Seager homered off of him. This is hit hard, but out to left field, and Will Myers has a beat on it, and he will track it down. Seager just underneath it. He thought he had another one, but just underneath it. And Verlander with a 1-2-3 inning here in the 6th. We have reached the middle of the 6th. St. Louis has a 5-4 lead over Chicago. A good ball game here. Happy that you're here with me. And Jesse Chavez will continue. We've got a good crowd here tonight. The live chat is hopping, making references that I have no idea what they are. But it seems like they're enjoying themselves, and I hope you guys are too. Casey McGee, it's a 3-8. This is a bouncer to short. Kyle Seager, he's up with it, and he'll make the strong throw. 1 out. Verlander, he is going to hit. Let me take a look. The bullpen for St. Louis, not great. So Verlander's going to keep going. Nobody on here. Bases are empty. And it's a 6-9. And Verlander plops a single, a little excuse me single, out to center field. And it's turning up roses for him as he has a base hit here in the bottom of the 6th. Kevin Pillar now. Pillar with a 5-7. That's a strikeout. So Pillar was 2 for 3 before that. He strikes out against Chavez. That's out number 2. So Will Myers has done some damage today. It was against John Neese, and now against Jesse Chavez. We'll see if his 2 for 3 holds up. It's a 1-9. A 1-9 is a ballpark home run chance. Will Myers gets a hold of this one. He hits it out to left field, pulls it. A 1-6, and it's a homer. That is a 5, so Will Myers yanks one out, and it's a 2-run shot, giving Verlander even more insurance. Verlander will come around from first to score on the home run from Will Myers. So Verlander, much appreciative of the run support that he's gotten today. Will Myers battling with Hank Conger for the the player of the game honors. Will Myers puts one out over the left field fence, and that is a 2-run homer. St. Louis leads 7-4. So now it'll be Ryan Howard. Howard is 0 for 3 on the day. The guy with the highest batting average on the team has struggled the most. It's a 4-8. Well, not this time. That's going to be a base hit. That'll be a double for the big lefty, Ryan Howard. So Jesse Chavez looks like he ran out of steam here in the 6th. And now J.D. Martinez is up. Chavez will get one more batter here. Check, check. I think I lost my connection. Check 1, 2. There we go. I'm good. I can actually hear myself, so I know that I have audio, so thank you to my connection. Al Red Sox fan says, looks like Kate's hubby is on his way to a win. If this is the Kate Upton channel, I'm giving 2 upvotes. Yes, give 2 upvotes to Cubs to Bears. J.D. Martinez, he's going to get a crack at Jesse Chavez here. It's a 2-8. That has a chance to be a double. A 1-8. It's a 3. It is a double. It drops down in the gap. That'll score Howard from second. So J.D. Martinez with his second double of the ball game. That'll score a run. It's his first RBI of the game. And Howard comes around to score, and it's now 8-4. I'm a poet. So that'll chase Chavez out here in St. Louis. Chicago, the bullpen not really helping. They will bring out, let me take a look at the statistics here real quick for Chicago's pitching, just to see who I should get some innings for. It will be Casey Fine. So you picked a fine time to get Casey into the ball game, as Hank Conger will be the one to face him. See what I did there? Yeah, Ken Castro says, Ryan Howard scores from second? Yeah, it was hit way into the gap. It had to be. All right, so this will be Casey Fine coming in. Chavez, he went an inning. He gave up 4 hits. Rough day. He struck out 2, though. And he didn't walk anybody. He's already given up 3 runs, though, and he's responsible for J.D. Martinez out at second. So Hank Conger with another potential RBI out there at second. We've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. It's a 4-12, a 4-12. That's a single right field. So Conger with his 3rd hit of the game. J.D. Martinez off with the pitch. Let's see. They were holding him. So he'd be a 1-11, -1 +2. So it's a 12. That one is hit out to right field. The right fielder is Austin Jackson. He's a 0. So it's a 1-12. J.D. Martinez is going to get the go sign on a base hit from Hank Conger. A 1-12, and he'll score. That's an 8. So another RBI single for Hank Conger as he drives in Martinez from second. That's his 4th ribby of the day. Hank Conger coming up big again, just like we all knew he would. Conger and Myers both have 4 ribbies on the day. That'll close the book on Chavez. He gave up 4 runs. 4 runs, and that was a rough one. So Conger's at first, and Castro is at the plate. And it's a 2-6, and this one will end mercifully this inning as Castro strikes out swinging. That's the 3rd out, and fine. Well, I mean, I guess he did all right. Nobody can get Conger out, so it's hard to blame him for that. But St. Louis puts up a 4 spot there in the 6th, and they lead 9-4 now. This game is nuttier than the guys in the chat. Well, you're right, I think, Ken. That's kind of what happens with St. Louis. And I wouldn't count Chicago out of this. They've got Brian McCann, Nolan Reimold, and Jake Lamb due up against Verlander. I'm not sure how much longer he'll go. He's not really needed at this point. And Verlander just goes ahead and plunks McCann, puts him on base. So not a good way to start the inning as Verlander just plunks Brian McCann right in the side. That one's going to sting. A fastball. And now Nolan Reimold. Hank King Conger is what Al Red Sox fan called him. Yeah, you're right, I think. This is a 6-12. This is hit back to Verlander. He is a 5 range. I didn't realize he was that bad of a pitcher as far as range goes. A 5.5 is going to his E rating, which is an E33. We rolled an 8. An 8 is, so Verlander, he knocks it down, he scrambles to grab it, and he makes the throw, and it is wild. It gets past the first baseman, Howard, who's still huffing and puffing from scoring from second. And so McCann will get to second on the error. Reimold is at first on the E1 from Justin Verlander. So it's the first 2 men have reached. And it'll be Jake Lamb. So Lamb is 0 for 2. He's reached on an error and scored. And it's a 4-10. This is a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Kevin Pillar. That was a 15. Kevin Pillar is a 1-range center fielder. A 115 is going to be a fly ball C. So he makes the play running in. Nobody wanting to test him. And so the runners stay put. And that'll be the first out of the inning. Jake Lamb. And now it's Leonis Martin, who, as we saw, he took Justin up, and away out into center field for a home run, a 3-run shot. Can he do it again here? It's a 4-10. The 4-10 is a fly ball center field. X. Center fielder, as we saw, is Kevin Pillar. He's got to make another run. It's a fly ball. And so nobody will advance again as Kevin Pillar is getting his wind sprints out in center field. So now it'll be the pitcher's spot, and they will go to a pinch hitter. And it shall be... Who's got the most pop here? They're going to go get Josh Flegley to pinch hit for the pitcher's spot, Casey Fine. So Flegley will come in, the right-hander, with runners at first and second. Looking to get some pop here against Justin Verlander. And it's a 5-10. And not going to get any baseball there. That's a strikeout. Flegley, the pinch hitter, can't get his bat off his shoulder. That's the third out here in the top of the seventh. We've reached the stretch. And that's the fifth strikeout for Verlander. We've reached the stretch. It's the middle of the seventh. St. Louis grabs the lead back. It's 9-4. We need a new pitcher for Chicago. And who will it be? Let me take a look at the stats. That'll be... We're going to go with Scott Oberg. Scott Oberg is going to come out for Chicago. He'll relieve Casey Fine. Fine, he went a third of an inning. He gave up a single. He struck out one and didn't do anything else. So it'll be Scott Oberg taking over, and he'll face Espinoza, McGee, and then maybe Verlander. We'll see. The singing is over, and this one might be too, as St. Louis is up 9-4. Espinoza steps in from the left side, and that was a 5, so that's a shortstop X chance. Shortstop is Seager. Seager is a 4-range shortstop. A 4-5 is going to sneak past. That's going to be a single. So Espinoza is aboard. And St. Louis, the hit parade, keeps going. And so do the Kate Upton references in the chat. That's funny. I think that may be why Al Red Sox is still awake. Reached his pitcher inning of weakness, Al Red Sox fan, and he has not hit the hay yet. Casey McGee is up. He's 0 for 3. And it's a 4-7. That's got a single chance, a 1-11. And that's a 15, so that'll be a ground ball to third base. The third baseman, Lamb, he grabs it, tries to turn it over to Harrison. Harrison to first, not in time. Espinosa is erased at second. He'll be the first out. But McGee busting it up the line. He is able to out-hustle the throw. And there's one out, and McGee is on first. Justin Verlander, I'm sorry for all the chat, folks, but Mr. Upton is going to be relieved of his duties. And the pinch hitter will be... well, actually, let me take a look at the... Who needs some at-bats here? I'm trying to keep things balanced. St. Louis being up so much, they can see who has the least amount of at-bats and maybe throw one of those guys in here. Matt Joyce has 5 at-bats. Yeah, we'll go with Matt Joyce. How about that? So Joyce comes out and will pinch hit for Justin Verlander. Joyce, the lefty. pinch hits here in the 7th inning. I forgot to write down the 0 there. Okay, so Joyce is ready against Scott Oberg. We got a runner at first. That's Casey McGee. And it's a 3, which is a left field X chance. Nolan Reimold again. He's been busy out there. He's made a few plays at the track. He's a 4-range left fielder. A 4-18 is going to be a single 2-star. So McGee reads it well, and he ends up at third base on a single from Matt Joyce, a pinch hit single. And now runners are on the corners for Kevin Pillar. So Kevin Pillar, he's 2 for 4. The infield remains back looking for the double play. It's a 3-6. That is going to be a line out to third. So Pillar hits it well, but the third baseman, Jake Lamb, makes the play, and there's 2 away. So a big out there, and now runners on the corners with 2 outs for Will Myers. Will Myers, I know we've got Kate Upton references in the chat, but let me tell you this. We have Will Myers with a triple away from the cycle. He's got a, against right-handers, he doesn't have a triple on the card. So I'm sorry to disappoint. Never mind. Go back to your regularly scheduled Kate Upton references. All right, never mind. It's a 4-7, and that's got a chance to be a single, though. It's a 19, so that one, we'll say that was his triple, but it gets robbed by Jake Lamb, robbing him of a hit down the line, and Will Myers gets thrown out at first. So Myers, 3 for 5 on the day. We move to the 8th inning. Verlander's out of the ball game. We need somebody to pitch for St. Louis, and that will be, let's see, we're facing the top of the order, so it'll be, we'll go get, let me take a look at the stats again. Sorry for the delay here. How about Geltz? We're going to go get Geltz. Sorry, I had to look at the bullpen. Let's see. Where is Geltz? Steve Geltz. Have you ever heard of him? Raise your hand if you've ever heard his name before. Steve Geltz. He'll take over for Justin Verlander, as Verlander goes 7 and gives up 1, 2. Wow, I hadn't noticed how Verlander was dealing. He only gave up 2 hits. 2 home runs were the only hits that Verlander gave up. Are you serious? Let me double check that. Yeah, 2 hits for Justin Verlander. Both of them were home runs. One from Seager, one from Martin. He gave up 4 runs, but only 3 of them were earned. Struck out 5, and he walked 1. Only 1. So Steve Geltz, after Verlander throws a gem without me even noticing it, we'll take over here. Steve Geltz to face the top of the order, Harrison, Jackson, and then Maurer. So it's a 3-11. A 3-11 is a single chance for Harrison, and that'll be a 14. It needed to be a 1-9, so that'll be a line out to shortstop. I didn't realize, with all this Upton chat, how good a game that Verlander had been pitching. I saw that he gave up 4 runs and just kind of assumed he hadn't been dealing, but after that Second inning homer from Martin. He hadn't given up a hit. Austin Jackson now, he's 0 for 3 against Geltz here. That chopper to third. McGee is up with it quickly and fires it across. There's 2 out. Now it'll be Joe Mauer against the righty. It's a 6-6. A 6-6 is a strikeout. Joe Mauer goes down for the 4th time today. And that'll be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Geltz. As Chicago needs to start putting some hits together, as it's a 9-4 ball game. St. Louis leading here. Scott Oberg, he struggled in his inning, so it will be Drew Pomeranz coming out. Drew Pomeranz will face Howard, and then Martinez and Conger. So Drew Pomeranz gets the next call. The former Rockies arm. And Oberg, he went an inning. He gave up 2 hits. No runs, surprisingly. He didn't strike out anybody, and he didn't walk anybody. So Drew Pomeranz is up, and he'll face the lefty, Ryan Howard. Yeah, Steve who? Yeah, that's right, Jerry. It's a 1-8, and Pomeranz gets Ryan Howard to strike out. One quickly out. One quickly gone here in the bottom of the 8th. And now J.D. Martinez at the plate. The Cubs to Bear says, I remember Steve Jeltz, a weak-hitting utility infielder in the 80s, played for the Cardinals or Phillies, or as he says, O'Hillies. This is a 4-9. A 4-9 against Drew Pomeranz. That's going to be a base hit for Martinez. That's a 12. So that'll be a double. The 3rd double on the day for Martinez, who's just stringing together some hits. That's 4 for 5 today for J.D. Martinez. And now it's your everybody's favorite +4 arm hitting catcher, Hank Conger, to face Drew Pomeranz. They turn him around, so Conger's going to have to hit from the right-hand side for the first time today. He's 3 for 4, 3 singles, 4 RBIs. It's a 1-5, a 1-5, a 1-14 chance at a double. A 1-14 chance at a double for Conger, and it's a 5. So Conger, he drives in another run on an RBI double. Hank Conger is a machine, and we are not worthy to be in his presence. That's 5 on the day for Conger, and rounds out St. Louis's lead to 10-5. Or excuse me, 10-4. He gets an RBI off of Drew Pomeranz this time, and you knew it was going to happen, and it did. So it'll be Starlin Castro now, a 6-6, and Castro strikes out looking. Second one for Pomeranz, second out here in the bottom of the 8th. The Conger with another RBI. That's 5 today. Danny Espinosa's got a base hit. We'll see if he can do it here against the lefty Pomeranz. And that one is not going to do it as he hits one to third. Up with it is Lamb. And Lamb tosses it to first. And that'll retire the side. But we are through 8. St. Louis gets another one. It's 10-5. Hank Aaron who? LOL Conger. That's right. Hank Conger just destroys lives here. So now we have Geltz. He's going to make way. They're going to bring out a lefty. So a lefty, it'll be Garces. Frank Garces will finish it out here for St. Louis. Garces has only pitched in a third of an inning so far this season. So he's what you would say is fresh. He's fresh. Frank Garces. And I didn't make that name up either. He's a real card. Look at that. If anybody can tell me who he played for, I'll give you a thumbs up. So Geltz, he went an inning. It was a 1-2-3 inning. He struck out one and didn't walk anybody. But here we've got Garces. And he'll face a couple lefties here, Seager and McCann, and then Nolan Reimold. It's a 2-4. A 2-4 is hit right back to Garces. He's sharp on it, and he will pick it up and throw it to first. One away. The Conger sounds like a food cake made by Dolly Madison, says Jerry Ball. Well, they should. They should make one in honor of Hank Conger. You can't stop Hank Conger. You can only hope to contain him. That's right, the Cubs to Bears. A 5-4. That's a ballpark single chance for Brian McCann. And that's a 1, so that's going to be a single. Lefty-on-lefty violence there for McCann. He's got his first base hit of the day. So now Nolan Reimold, he's 0 for 2. He's walked as well. It's a 1-8. Well, he's going to strike out this time. Strikes out swinging against the lefty. There's 2 away here in the top of the 9th. 1 out away is St. Louis from putting this one in the old win column. And Jake Lamb is 0 for 3. He'll get pinch hit for. Mike Olt will get an at-bat here. Lamb being 0 for 3, they go to the righty, Mike Olt, to try and extend this game. Olt, he'll see the pitch from the lefty. It's a 2-4, and it's not going to matter as he strikes out. Back-to-back Ks to end the day for Chicago. And St. Louis picks up the victory. They wave the W flag in St. Louis as Chicago scores 4 in the second, but can't score after that. They only had 3 hits in the ball game. 1 from Seager, 1 from McCann, and 1 from Martin. So Chicago drops one here in St. Louis. St. Louis moves their record to 11-5. Chicago drops to 8-8. And this has been a fun ball game. The chat was lively. I'm happy now that YouTube, they have the live chat replay, because everybody that'll be watching this after the fact can get to see all the things that I couldn't repeat about Kate Upton in the chat. So enjoy that, everybody. Al Red Sox fan, thank you for being here. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for being a part of this. Ken Castro, thank you for being here. Jerry Ball, you're the man. The Cubs, the Bears, you dumb man. Everybody else that was here, did I miss anybody? I think that was it for tonight. But you guys made the chat. It was very fun. Ken says, best chat ever. Well, this was a fun game as well. Chicago, they took the lead in the second. Then their bullpen got lit up. John Neese takes the loss. Justin Verlander, with a 2-hitter through 7 innings, he takes the win. And that'll do it here. The next broadcast will be Cincinnati. Cincinnati is the last team in the KL. They are 15th place at 3-12. But they've got Michael Waka on the mound to face Max Scherzer and the Pittsburgh Rattatas. The Rattatas are 1 game back of Milwaukee for the lead in the KL. So it looks like they've got an easy game, but we'll see, as they need a win, Pittsburgh does, to keep pace with Milwaukee. Pittsburgh, though, has lost 2 in a row, so they'll need to turn that around. And before you guys go, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Appreciate you guys being here, but I am tired, and it's time for me to get out of here. So thank you guys very much. It was very enjoyable, and until the next time, have a good one.